she was from out of town. She was like, hey, let's go over to, do they have a forest lawn cemeteries out here?
No, where the studios are at, like
Burbank?
Yeah, that's a forest lawn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where they bury actors' dreams.
Hey, it's Tom, and welcome to my office where we started recording The Scary Funny Show, my podcast where I talk with my funny comedian friends about haunted places, scary things, and things that just freak us out. Now, we're about 30 episodes into the show, and even though we've filmed every episode, we haven't posted any of the video online because of a combination of technical issues, camera problems, Wi-Fi problems, or just how time-consuming the editing process is. Now, the good news is we've got some new cameras in the studio, and it's going to fix all of that. We'll be posting the new videos when those episodes come out. Until then, I'm going to try to get the other 30 or so episodes up online on YouTube with some animation so you can check out the show in a fun way. Thank you for taking a look. You can support the show by hitting the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. You can buy some of our merch at our TeePublic store. You can join our Patreon page. If you want to support the show, just tell a friend. Share the show with somebody. And the podcast is available on all the podcast places. I'm going to put the links below in the show description. Leave us a comment. Tell us where you live, what haunted places are in your town, and what we should check out while we're on tour. Thanks again, and keep laughing, or die trying. Welcome to Scary Funny, the podcast where funny comedians talk about scary places we've played, are going to play, or want to play, and we try to make each other laugh while we're doing it. I'm your host, Thom Tran, here with my co-host, Mike Estime.
Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody?
Our good friend, Deshaun Ross.
What's happening?
And this is a show where we talk to our comedian friends, because we're all stand-up comedians here, but Mike and I are going to talk to our comedian friends about the scariest places they've either performed at or are going to perform at. Because I like scary stuff. Mike, do you like scary stuff?
I do. I don't like to go to the movies to be paid to get scared. But yeah, every now and then, sure. I mean, I saw Paranormal Activity, stuff like that, and I have some more stories as we go along.
Is that your bar for scary stuff?
Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
Yes, that's my bar for scary stuff.
Okay.
That's my bar right there.
So let me be clear. What we're going to do is we're going to tell true or at least rumored ghost stories or horror stories or stories about haunted places in towns or venues we've performed in or we're going to perform in. Because we all travel. We're all touring stand-up comedians. And I think the most interesting thing to do when I go to a new town is go find something scary. Go find like the urban legend of that town and find out what's creepy about that. Like we've heard stories about comedy clubs being haunted. What about some of the other places that are haunted in the towns we're going to? So
I've never heard that, Tom. I mean, usually I look for a strip club or
yeah, I don't normally seek out the fear.
So I'm the weird one.
Fear, exactly. We're about to be. It's interesting. I mean, but I'm not here to judge. So let's get it going.
Deshaun, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm feeling really good, man. Yeah, that's new. I'm glad that you seek out the fear.
Yeah, I seek out the fear.
I feel like fear seeks me.
Here's the weird thing. I say I seek out the fear. I was in bed last night and I put on a YouTube video about a thing that I was researching for the show. And about 3 minutes in, I was like, oh, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on She-Hulk.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, man. I mean, come on. I mean, why would you do that to yourself?
I don't even want to watch a lot of killing before I go to sleep. Because I don't want to have those dreams.
Okay.
It's for research.
I do.
It's research. It's for the show. Deshaun, how do you feel about ghost, goblin, spooky stuff? Do you believe in that stuff at all?
Yeah, that's why I normally try to stay away from it. Like I met this girl recently, and she was like, "Oh, I'm such into like." She literally said, "I'm into spirits, the devil, the Ouija board," and she's like, "You want me to pull my Ouija board out?" I literally just walked away. I didn't even answer her. I just walked off because I was like, the wrong answer. She might put a hex on me or something. So
yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Well, how'd she look?
Yeah, how did she look? Was she scary?
Yes.
All right. Well,
yes.
that's your fault then.
Okay, yeah. If she was fine,
I wasn't talking. She was like, we was at a group of people and she was there as well. It's not like I walked up to her and she was just,
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Have you ever experienced anything scary or spooky or supernatural?
Oh, scary all the time. Supernatural?
I'm not talking about your comedy.
I'll tell you what's up.
That's how we start.
Yeah, I told Jack Sr. that I wasn't gonna buy a drink at the hospital.
I think we've all been through that hard film. I think we've all been there. Badi, you're not going through bad.
Yeah,
I know.
You're not funny then. You're not funny.
That's funny. That's bad dream.
But like,
why I made him into a freaking vampire all of a sudden.
One,
Armenian vampire.
They go to Glendale. Go.
Go to Glendale.
So what has scary happened to you?
What is scary? Supernatural-ish?
Yeah.
Ish-y? Actually, I was in this club in South Carolina. Can I say the club? Or
Do what you want.
So it was a comedy house in South Carolina. And this is the same club, if everybody doesn't remember, as of recent, a fan in the audience jumped up and started fighting one of the comedians. I think it was Steve Brown, actually.
What?
Yeah, the dude threw a chair, the stool, was trying to hit him with the mic stand. Yeah, it went viral.
It was on YouTube. Man.
Yeah.
Saw that one.
Damn.
It was all during the pandemic. Like, this dude went hard at Steve. And anyways, so I was at this club for the first time, and which is really weird, but they were like, make sure you're clean. You're clean. I do clean. That's what I do. I kept...
Right.
Everybody
was the club that lets people go up there and try to assault the damn comic. Now make sure you clean that.
Yes.
It's a family.
Mm-hmm. The host opened up with, "You mother effers, my penis dick." This, I was like, but I gotta be clean.
Maybe their definition of clean is a little different from our definition.
So, anyways, I go. I have a good set. The headliner comes up. He had like some weird, goofy nickname. I don't remember his name, but he went up. He didn't do as well. And I went, so the second show, same thing. And he goes, he was joking, but I thought at least he did the Color Purple. Remember when everything you touch?
Yeah.
And I was like, just joking. He was like, nah, I'm for real. I just put a root on you. And he said root, and it made me think about Coming to America. No, it's Harlem Nights. When he said he put a root on her. Yeah. So I'm laughing and joking. So at the end of the weekend, when it's time to go get paid, I had to walk through the kitchen for whatever reason. When I tell you I'm walking through the kitchen, they're not even mopping or nothing, and I slip, and I mean I slip hard. Bam! Feet come up, head hit the ground, and I'm just laying there like I'm not a clumsy person. I don't fall like ever. Like even when I'm tripped, I don't fall. I fell, hit my head. I'm laying there like, yo, did this root really like take set? Because he was very unhappy with the jokes. He was mad that I wasn't taking jokes. I was just doing better than him.
Right.
And he did the root. I think he really put a root on me that I slipped. I fell. At the end of the weekend, so my check bounced because I never. So I learned this. I learned this early off. I never take my check to. If you write me a check, I don't take it to my bank. I take it to your bank and cash it first.
Right.
And that's what happens. I took it to their bank, and they're like, no. So. Like I had to go through a whole lot to get my money. The knot on my head, they wasn't trying to like hear that. It wasn't their fault.
Oh, damn.
Never been booked back again. Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. And that's never happened to me. Never, anywhere.
So that's what made you go, all right, I think something beyond natural.
Well, this part when he said anything you touch.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because when someone do this right here with the fingers, I think you're trying to adjust the television or turning down the dial. Yeah.
Do you still have this type of TV? Like, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
So is that the first time something happened to you and you were like, oh.
No, that was probably just the most recent. I've had, I think really something that really affected me was, I was in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not even funny. It was like I was in a car accident where the car got smashed in. The car caught on fire. I made it out. Like 3 people was in the car. We made it out. The car burned completely up. But the Bible was the only thing that didn't get burned at all. It didn't even have a sear on it. And Bible has very thin pages. And I'm not like no super Christian or nothing like that. But that was very awkward to know that it didn't
Did
burn.
my mother call this show? Did you talk to my mom? Oh, man.
No, that was
like the first show. She just been everything.
That
for real.
Like when the girl who was driving the car, when her and her mom went to see the car, her mom just bust out in tears. Like, there's no way you guys made it out of this car. It was burned to crisp.
Damn.
And no burn marks
and
on
nothing.
me. My knees make noise, but I ain't got no burn marks on me.
That's how he got the afro, because he got blown up.
My knees are as noisy as this flip phone that Tom has.
Come on.
That's what it sounds like when I get up every time.
Oh shit!
You still have the flip phone.
What
It's a Virgin
Tom?
Mobile too. It's a Virgin
Oh my
Mobile.
God! Is Avon Barksdale trying to call you, Tom? What's going on, bro? Damn, that's hilarious.
It's got an antenna.
That's the funniest. Hold on. Hello.
Hold on a second. Let me just. Oh my God,
Mike,
that's
what about
funny.
you? How do you feel about the supernatural?
Man, I mean, I'm a little skeptical every now and then. To go with my man, to go with D's story with the root. I remember when I was I was really young, and I think about elementary school, about to go into high school, and apparently, my family does this thing where we're Haitian, so of course that goes with the territory.
Right,
There's no
yeah.
voodoo in it. So I'm like, nah, we don't know voodoo, blah, blah, blah. But next thing I know, there's this guy that comes in the house. Never seen him. He comes in and he has a hat and he has a bag and there's something moving in the bag. I was like, what the fuck is going on in the bag? He has a chicken in the bag. So he gets the chicken and he puts like some salt or sugar in the middle of my parents' room. This is all happening in my parents' room. I'm trying to, descramble the porn that my parents locked me out of. I don't need to deal with this shit here. But then I hear like a lot of ruffling and like a lot of tongues. And then I go in there, sit down, and then I guess my parents built like a semi altar. They take the chicken out of the circle, go in front of the altar. Next thing I know, my mother is dropping it like it's hot. I've never seen it before. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? She's lifting up her skirt, she's whining, and all of a sudden she starts smacking my father on the arm and all that. And my father just taking, I'm like, damn. I like first like, Dad, you kind of a bitch. You gonna just take it down? You gonna hold her or do something, smack the chicken out of her hand? What's wrong with you? I lost respect for my father that day, but that's another stuff. But they were doing all this stuff. And then next thing you know, I guess the spirit transferred to my aunt. And then she was doing some crazy stuff. And then they were speaking in Creole. But what I understood was that they were telling their own story, like from past lives, and saying what they were doing and what they know about. And you saw like the men. I've never seen the men in my house. They really don't take shit, but they were silent, and they was. And of course, this is me. At that time, 13, going on 14, and I'm petrified. I'm just sitting there, just watching all this happen. And they had gone downstairs. This was in New York, and it just went on and on. And then after everybody's finished, okay, all right, Mike, time to go to bed. I'm like, huh? Go to bed after this shit? Are you crazy? I just watched The Exorcism in my own damn house, and now you like, all right, you want to
go to sleep?
You want to go to sleep? They're like, make sure the lights out. I don't know all the lights going on in this bit.
That's like Tom watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the lights is on.
Every light was on, but that was the only supernatural thing. And then the scarier part was when I asked my mother and my aunt, I said, well, why did you do that? What was going on? And they looked at me like, what are you talking about?
They didn't know what happened.
They do not know what happened to this day. I will tell my mother, I'm like, Ma, you remember? She's like, I don't know what you talking about. What? I'm like, okay. I mean, the dude did the whole thing with the licking, spit in the people's face, and then something came over him. It was like I don't know, bro. That was the only supernatural thing. But then after that, like I said, the skeptic, I said, okay. Then I kind of justified in my mind, nah, this wasn't real. Nah, they'll mess with me.
So you're more of a skeptic.
I'm more of a skeptic.
Okay.
I am. Now, I do believe in UFOs and aliens. That I believe in. But I figure,
despite the voodoo shit that went down in your house, you're still like,
I don't believe that shit. No.
Why?
That even though it was there, but I am still a skeptic.
Okay. Are you a skeptic because you don't want to believe that? Because you're like, I don't want this shit to be real, or is it genuinely like, I don't know.
Tom, I don't like these hard hitting questions. I don't appreciate it.
Do you want me to bust out the cell phone again?
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, we became Tom Brokaw, got the flip phone and everything. I think it's more so the latter, which was you said, where I may believe, but I just don't want to, because for me to believe something like that, then you start questioning
everything,
other shit,
right?
I mean, everything, exactly. You start questioning everything, and that's like, scary. Then they start questioning my belief system and what is this, what is that.
So you're lazy, is what you're saying.
You know what, Tom? Again, I don't know why
what's
we
crazy.
Have to go there.
Speaking, because he's Haitian. I just like 3 days ago, I was reading about this thing about when France, I believe it was France, that invaded Haiti. Way. The way that they won was because a lot of the women, the voodoo, like the magical women, had prayed like for victory, but in a certain way that's why a lot of the generals from the French army was getting sick and they couldn't fight, and it was just like they won because of this magic, or if you will, or whatever you want to call it, voodoo magic, because of that. And I was like, that was like 3-4 days ago, and then he asked me about this, and you told that story. I'm like,
yeah. See, now we get.
And then the Haitians are crazy. I watched all that stuff growing up.
And now we're here.
Yeah, it's amazing, just the little things that you see growing up, and now funny talking about this now. You like with the supernatural, I was like, yeah, I remember that. And this was, of course, years ago.
Yeah,
but it still stuck with me, and it still sticks with me that my parents are still lying to me. I'm like, you don't remember? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, then we get into an argument, and next thing I'm like, no, I'm leaving. Fine, you want to lie to me? Where are you going? I don't know. What's he talking about, Michelle? I don't know. So it's one of those things. Now I never heard about the story about the when they were doing the revolution. Yeah. I just thought it was karma that these French motherfuckers got to go. So I thought it was just something over to it, not to something.
Karma was someone who prayed, then that's what it was.
I guess that was the karma. Oh yeah, karma was the lady's name in the village. That's what it was.
I just watched that video. It was crazy.
It's amazing. No, it's amazing. But that is probably the most supernatural thing that happened to me. Now, Tom. Have you talked about your supernatural event? Yo, you did, didn't you?
I haven't. No. I mean, the reason I came up with this show is because we're all stand-up comics. And people say one of the scariest things in the world is to get up and talk in public. Like normal people are terrified to get up in front of an audience. And that's scary for them. And I get it. Like, people can be afraid of that. This is not a normal thing for us to go on stage and talk to strangers.
Tell your sadness.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That's called low self-esteem.
It's just low self-esteem, and it's not enough hugs as children. But I was thinking about what is the stuff that scares us. Like, I was a paratrooper. I jump out of planes. I hate heights, but I still do it. And I was thinking about the things that do scare me. And I did grow up believing in the supernatural and the paranormal. And like my family came from Vietnam in the 80s, and I would hear these stories. You're from Haiti. Your family tells these old world stories about shit that would happen. And I would hear these stories. And I grew up believing that because I didn't know any better. And I'm a big fan. It's going to sound stupid. I'm a big fan of that show, Supernatural. And I love the way they weaved all these supernatural legends from different cultures into this show. And I learned stuff about the Bible that I didn't learn in Catholic school.
Yeah.
So, long story short, some creepy shit did happen to me when I was living in Buffalo before I moved to Los Angeles. And I thought about that and that's one of the reasons I go to like scary places or haunted places in these towns I go to visit, because I want to see if what I felt was real. So this is what happened. I lived in Buffalo, New York. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. I went back there after I left the Army. And I lived in this house that was owned by the Daughters of the American Revolution, which is a social club. It's a women's social club. Mm-hmm. This house was given to them by a woman named Catherine Pratt Horton. It was actually called the Catherine Pratt Horton House, all right? So who Catherine Pratt Horton was, she was 18th, 19th century Buffalo debutante, because Buffalo, New York, back in the early days, was a huge town. It was one of the biggest cities in the country, like rivaled New York and Chicago. It's not like that anymore. But they had a World's Fair there. They had presidents there. We had 2 presidents shot there. So this woman, Catherine Pratt Horton, her family started a bank in Western New York. It was called the M&T Bank, Merchants and Traders Bank. So when she died, she willed this house to the Daughters of the American Revolution. And the house was built in the 1800s. And it looks like it was built in the 1800s. 4 floors, brownstone. It was a mansion. That's what it was. It was an old, creepy ass mansion. Okay. The first floor, if you can imagine it, was where people walked in. That was the reception area. In the back of that was like the servants' kitchen where they prepared everything. And I was essentially the caretaker. I lived there to take care of the house for the social group that only used it once or twice a month. You know, and I worked on the radio as a comic, whatever. I had time to just, I cleaned the place, I shoveled the driveway, that kind of thing. So I was the servant living in this big, creepy 4-floor mansion. First floor was the lobby. Second floor was the reception area slash dining area slash there was a piano, and there was this 30-foot painting of Catherine Pratt Horton. And the way you walked up the house, it was 4 floors. You walked up the first floor, there was a landing, you go up, you walk up the second floor, there's another landing, and you go up. And when you walk up the stairs, this big spiraling case, if you look to your left, the first thing you see is this giant 30-foot portrait of this woman. So the third floor was the library and the dining area. The fourth floor was the servants' quarters where I lived. And it was an apartment, essentially, on the fourth floor. So I had to walk up 4 floors in an 18th century mansion every night to get back to where I lived, okay? And my buddy Chris used to live there before me. That's how I got the job. And he said he'd lived there for years. And one of the first things he said to me when I moved in was, say goodnight to Catherine every time you come home. You walk up the stairs, you look at that portrait, and you say good evening. He said that. And I was like, okay, that's not weird or creepy at all.
Nah.
I'd have probably quit.
Is your friend?
I would have quit that day.
Yeah, he's like,
but it was a good
good
deal.
night, Catherine.
I lived there for free, essentially, and I took care of this place. And there was always a vibe there. I mean, it was an 18th century mansion. Like, President Garfield was there. President McKinley were there. They were both shot in Buffalo. Like, it was always it was always a weird vibe at this place, all right? So I'm living there for a couple of months, and I was dating this girl, and she was from out of town. She was like, hey, let's go over to, do they have a forest lawn cemeteries out here?
Yeah. It's,
In Hollywood?
but yeah, no, where the studios are at, like Burbank? Yeah, that's a forest lawn.
Oh, yeah, that's, there's cemetery. Oh, right, the Burbank.
Yeah, where people, you know, they
that's
do
what
the movies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where they bury actors' dreams.
They buried my hopes and dreams and my career. So anyway, we go to this forest lawn because it's a beautiful architecture and she wants to check it out. So we go and we drive around and we drive around and we drive around. She says, hey, let's stop and get out and take a look at some of the mausoleums and stuff like that. We get out. There's tens of thousands of graves here. This is the first creepy thing that happened. We get out and we start looking at some of the gravestones and stuff. And my girlfriend at the time goes,
Let me stop you real quick for a sec. So you take this girl.
She was white. You can ask.
And she was like, okay, all right. Enough said.
I knew you were going to ask.
Okay, because her sister would have been gone. Like, oh, you crazy.
Yeah. But it was her idea, though.
It was her, and it was her idea.
It was her idea.
But he explained it.
Oh, okay.
So we get out.
And you said, okay, let's do this.
I said, okay. New girlfriend. I want to do, be adventurous.
There's other ways. Okay. All right.
So we get out and we start walking around and looking around at some of these gravestones. And she goes, hey, what's the name of the lady that owns your house? I said, Catherine Pratt Horton. Why? She goes, because we're standing on her family's plot. Like, of all of the tens of thousands of graves at this forest lawn, we stop at the family plot, and I'm standing over the grave of this family whose house I live in. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to stay at your house tonight, and we will go back there in the morning when I have my gun.
You're just shooting the air.
I don't think you can shoot spirits, but I get it.
I think that's going to work, right? I mean, this ain't Resident Evil. They're not just going to come out.
That's the first creepy thing that happened.
God damn. Oh,
and I lived there for, I moved in, I think, 2005, and I moved to LA in 2008. So, like 3 years.
Man.
Yeah.
So I'm on the 4th floor of this 1800s mansion. I'm folding clothes. My favorite TV show was on at the time. It's called The Unit. It was a show about a special forces team, a Delta team. Okay, it was based on the book Inside Delta Force. I'm folding clothes. All right. Remember, the woman's name is Catherine Pratt Horton that owned my house, owned the house that I lived in. I'm watching this show, and in this scene, there's a family readiness group meeting, meaning the wives and spouses of these soldiers who are out of town. They're having this meeting. And this woman gets up to a podium. Let me step back. It's October.
Of course.
Right around Halloween.
It's getting better.
It's dark. The show comes on at 8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm folding clothes. And the scene is this family readiness group. This woman gets to a podium and she says, I am the general's wife. My name is Catherine Horton. And I'm like, huh? At that moment, all the lights in the house go off. Nope. Everything goes off. And I'm like, what just happened? Here's the thing. The fuse box, downstairs in the basement, 5 floors down. And it's not a flip the switch fuse box. It's those old glass, turny.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I wouldn't even made it to the fuse box.
Yeah,
I would have left.
Yeah.
I would have ran out so
I'm
fast.
jumping off whatever floor I'm on right now.
Yeah.
This is
I'm taking my chances.
3 years.
Damn, 3 years?
I am.
Oh, please continue.
So now it's dark. All the lights are off. The power has gone off. And just in my house, because I look out the window and all the lights are on in the street. So now I got to walk to the basement and change these old glass fuses. So I do what a combat vet does. I grab my gun.
What you gonna shoot at?
Exactly.
He's just gonna shoot at the wall. I got
Spirit.
you, Catherine. Bitch, you ain't getting me. What are you? A specter?
I'm going room to room,
With your gun.
Okay.
clearing
You
the
ghost
house.
busting now.
Yeah.
Well, part of me was like, what if it's a prowler that maybe cut the lights? But then a bigger part of me was like, if it's a ghost, what's your gun gonna do? Nothing.
Who you gonna
Exactly.
call?
Yeah, not the dude with the cig. That's
Thom Tran. Yeah.
so I'm going room to room, clearing every room just to make sure there's nobody else in the house. But also, like, I don't know why I thought having a gun would help. But I go from the second floor down, or the fourth floor down to like the third floor where there's a closet, and I don't go in this closet because there's no reason for me to ever go in this closet.
There was no reason for you to be in this house. Thom.
Yeah.
Let's just say it like that.
I
Fact.
opened the door, and there is a body standing in there, and I scream bloody murder. It was a mannequin that the ladies used
I don't care.
to dress up the house for the holidays. All right?
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God. So I keep going downstairs and I'm clearing every room, and I finally get into the basement. Now, someone heard the screaming. All right? I get downstairs to the basement. I come back up. I change the fuse. I come back up and I see a face looking through the window.
Nope.
And I screamed again, and it was the cops because
course.
someone heard the scream and thought a woman was being murdered.
That's hilarious.
So the cops came,
Of course.
and I'm like, ah! So they're like, what is going on? Why do you have a gun? And I holstered my weapon, and I opened the door. I was like, I live here. This is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So the 2 cops come in, and one starts asking me questions, and the other one starts walking around because he's got to check out, the scene and make sure everything's okay. He comes back out. Like, so I'm in the kitchen with the one cop. The other one is in the front of the house near the lobby. He comes out, like, grabs his partner and goes, we got to go.
Nope. We all gotta go.
No, yeah. We gotta go.
Yeah.
No, we all
You ain't
going.
leaving me.
What the hell?
So they bounced.
Mm-mm. To protect and serve left. Just let's get this out there.
They served themselves. That's what they did.
At this point, I called my girlfriend and I'm like, I'm coming over. And then the next day I came back and I walked upstairs and I went, good morning, Catherine. And then just like nothing happened for a while after that. But I would go on the road because I was a touring comic. And I would have my friends stay at the house. They would house sit for me while I was gone. I have 3 people who are no longer my friends because after they stayed there, they were like, we're never coming back here again.
Wait, do you notice that the police came because they heard a scream, and the police said, hey man, we can't be part of this, and he still hung out for a little bit.
My,
I'm leaving with, I wouldn't have stayed there ever again.
bruh.
I left my own apartment when I came home, and I put my key in the door. The door opened, and I just left. I was like, clearly, I don't need to be here.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
Because
God's telling you something.
Nope, I had to go. I left that fast. But the only time that I was scared, like not even your level of scary, I had a roommate one time, and he would never lock the door or close it all the way, but I didn't notice it the first time it happened. And it was a simple. I put the key in the door and it kind of opened, but I had a girl with me, so I couldn't run. But I had a bat.
Yeah,
I knew because she couldn't keep up with me because I can run.
Yeah, he's a sprinter, by the way. So yeah, so he's got the form. And
I take the bat. I don't have a gun at this point. I literally, so first place I go is to the bathroom. I open the curtain. I go, and I swing the bat. I did this to everywhere someone could be hiding. No, I do the closet. Check the whole house, the whole apartment. I realized, oh, he just didn't lock the door. My heart is pounding. She's outside, still scared. I call him. I had to go off because I'm like, yo, you made me look soft. Because when I did it by myself, I took off. I left. So you're a better man than me. I leave.
Oh no, bro. No, at this point, there's no rationale.
And I'm emptying clips. If I have a gun, I'm emptying the clip. Into nothing.
Man,
what'd you shoot?
That shit.
Nothing.
That mannequin would have had so many damn holes in it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a mannequin no more.
It would. Oh,
that's crazy that you stuck it out.
That's. By the way, this is brought to you by Depends, because if you're gonna shit on yourself, make sure you have Depends.
The Horton house is too much, and the levels. I don't think because the fuse box was in the. I don't go to anybody who's lived on the East Coast or anywhere with basements that are not finished are the scariest things.
Yep.
It's like war and then basements. Those are the 2 scariest things.
Yeah.
If you've been to an unfinished basement, it's literally scary. There's cobwebs, there's broken mirrors.
First of all,
dark. It's like unnaturally dark. I don't do.
Yeah, for some reason, and there's always some kind of noise that happens.
Rickety stairs. Stairs always make noise.
And then rickety ass. And then the owner always says this. Well, the house is settling. We ain't settling on my ass.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Let it settle on its own. Don't let it settle when I'm trying to get something downstairs.
Yeah, so that's it. That's my scary story. That's why I have this need to find out if this is real. Like, I can't say there's nothing. Like, I want to believe. Look, I want to believe in ghosts and ghouls and God the way I want to believe in aliens and the Loch Ness monster. Like, for there to be extraordinary claims, you need extraordinary proof. Like, I want it to be true. Like, I want there to be aliens, but no one has showed me an alien. I'm going to Scotland next year on vacation just to see if I can find the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I lived in a house for 3 years that was just so creepy and so scary, and that crazy stuff happened, like, I go, can there be something else? Like, do I just not have faith? Like, did my years of going to Catholic school just burn the faith out of me? Like, it
always goes back to the priest.
It always goes back to the priest.
It always goes back to the priest. You know, they either burn your faith out or they turn you out. It is either way.
Something out is gonna happen though.
So something's gonna happen. Eventually, something's gonna happen.
So that was my deal. That was my creepy, scary story about Buffalo, the place I lived in. And I bring it up because I'm going to be playing in Buffalo in November with my good friend Brad Williams. I'm opening for him at Helium. Then we're going to play in Syracuse. But that got me to thinking, like, we go to all these places, you know, that could have some kind of crazy history like this. And that's what I want to talk to my friends and have fun and make fun of this shit like we did today. So that's what this show is going to be about. We're going to talk about scary, haunted places, haunted stories, rumors, urban legends, things like that. That's what this show is going to be about. And every week we're going to have a different guest on. and we're going to talk to that guest about where they're going, where they're going to perform, and we're going to laugh with each other. That's what this show is going to be about. I want it to be, laughing at this crazy supernatural stuff. This has been great. This has been fun. We're going to have a lot of these episodes coming up. We got some out-of-town gigs coming up. And if we're not going out of town, we live in Los Angeles. There's tons of creepy, crazy shit that happens out here.
Oh, yeah. They're called casting agents. But let me tell you something. Hey-o!
Hey-o!
Yeah.
So we'll be telling those stories too. And it's just going to be us having fun with our friends and laughing and having a good time and letting people know how crazy I am to live in this creepy house for 3 years.
Oh, no. We've established that already.
Right.
We know that.
Thoroughly crazy.
Very, very crazy. And you like to take chances. I like to take chances as well, but it's on stage, not with my life.
Yeah.
Or with my show.
I like to take chances in. Last time I took a chance, I lost my Instagram. So
been there. I'm there with yeah, I've been there. It was 2 times. I lost my
no more
Instagram.
chances.
Where are you going to be coming up in the fall?
I'm going to be. Dang, I just looked too and I forgot that fast. I'm definitely gonna be. I forgot the clubs out here. Hold on, let me look. What's the name of our clubs?
The Laugh Factory,
Oh,
the
they're the
Improv.
They all
Improv
closed. It's like who didn't open. Yeah. So I got some Laugh Factory days, some Ha Ha, which is crazy. I'm back at the Ha Ha. Supposedly still. It's not. I'm not all the way yet. We'll see because we still don't see eye to eye as of right now.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's TBD. So
Yeah.
you might just pop in.
Hey,
Just don't do it doing myself.
if I'm allowed to actually pop in. So we'll see. But my social
like a
media
black
handles.
vampire. They gotta invite you in.
So my Instagram is I am Deshaun Ross. Because like Mike, my other one is no longer part of me.
Active. Right.
So
that was our supernatural story, by the way. We have to get to that.
That was supernatural. It's I am in a DSEAN Ross, and everything else is Deshaun Ross Comedy. And I post where I'll be, or I post whatever is coming up, if it's sketches, podcast, anything like that. And just make sure when people hit you on Instagram, people listen to me good. If you don't know them, just don't reply.
Mm-hmm.
Don't open it. Yeah. Don't reply. Don't do nothing.
Nope.
Because starting from scratch hurts.
It does.
Oh.
We used to talk once a week. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Oh, I'm not doing too good. How you doing?
That was our conversation for a month. How you doing? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So I'm on all the socials at _ Thom Tran, THOMTRAN. My website, thomtran.com. I'm gonna be, like I said, depending on when this drops, I'm planning October 1st, but just in case we drop it before, I'm gonna be in Fallon, Nevada on September 24th. Doing a big show with the GIs of Comedy, and then I'm going to be in Buffalo, New York, November 10th, 11th, and 12th, and then Syracuse, New York, on the 13th of November. And I'm probably gonna, I'm sure there are gonna be some episodes we're talking about creepy stuff in Syracuse and Reno. But if you want to help grow this podcast, all the socials are at Scary Funny Show, spelled exactly the way it sounds. If you like the show, leave us a good comment, leave us a 5-star rating, tell your friends. This is going to be fun. I like this, guys. Thank you so much, Deshaun, for coming and being our first guest.
Yeah.
Thank you for scaring me at night.
Yeah. It had to be at night. Yeah, we're going to have to do these shows
during the day.
Matinee style, maybe in the morning. Not as we're about to go to bed and everything. Cousin Horton. That's what I'm going to be saying all fucking night.
That's so scary now. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Thank you to everybody for listening. Subscribe, tell your friends, leave us a good 5-star rating, and try not to laugh yourself to death.